Hi boys and girls, today our lesson is going to be on area and perimeter. Before we start looking at examples from our 4th grade book, I just want to review some things about area and perimeter from 3rd grade to be sure that you remember them. When you are trying to find the area of something, area is the inside of a shape. So if we're looking at this square, we're looking at the inside of the shape. I want to know how much is inside. What is the area? So you will see examples where it gives you some lengths on the sides. So in this case, we have a square, so each side is 9 centimeters. In order to find area, you multiply length times width. So here, 9 times 9 would give you 81. And when you find area, you need to use the label square before you put the unit. So the abbreviation for square is SQ, and then our label or our unit would come right from the problem. It would be centimeters. So the area of this square is 81 square centimeters, and we found that by multiplying length times width. If we wanted to take the same exact shape, so I'm just going to redraw the same square. If we wanted to find the perimeter, well, the perimeter, if you notice, has this hidden word inside of it, rim. Rim means the outside of something. So perimeter is what is the distance around the rim, the outside of the shape. So if we were to walk along the outside of the shape, what would the distance be? Knowing that this is a square and that the side lengths are 9 centimeters, length is 9 centimeters, width is 9 centimeters, I know if this side is 9 centimeters, the side across the opposite side needs to be the same. They're the same length. This side is 9 centimeters, so the opposite would be the same. When you find the perimeter, you add all of the side lengths together. So in this case, we would do 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, or because you know how to use your mental math and repeated addition, if you wanted to do 9 times 4, because that is 9 copies of 4 in your head, you can also do that. So take a second to think. 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 36. And for perimeter, we just use the regular unit. We do not need to write square. That's only for area. So our perimeter of the shape would be 36 centimeters. And we found that by adding the 4 side lengths. In 4th grade, what we're going to be asking you to do is to find a missing side or to find the area and perimeter using a missing side length. So an example might look something like this. You're going to have a rectangle, and the directions say find N, the perimeter equals 46 inches. And they have one side labeled 8 inches, and this side is labeled N. So we need to find N. They're looking to solve what this number is. So think, if we know this side on the right is 8 inches, the opposite side across also is 8 inches, so that will help us out. And then they gave us the information that the perimeter is 46 inches. So I know perimeter is the outside, the distance around the shape. So I need to find what these lengths are. I know that these two lengths are 8 each. So I'm going to think, okay, let me figure out what numbers we already have. We have 8 and 8 plus N and another N on this side. I know 8 plus 8 is 16. And then we're missing 2 side lengths. So I know the whole outside needs to be 46 inches. We already have 16 inches right here. So let's subtract them and see how many inches we still have to work with. Okay, we have 30 inches still have to work with, and we have 2 sides that both do not have a length yet. So we're going to take this 30 and we're going to split it because these two are equal sides. When we split something into equal groups, we use division. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So that would mean this side is 15 inches and this side is 15 inches. A way to check if you did this correctly would be to go back and check the perimeter. So we know perimeter is the outside 4 lengths added together. So we can add them. 15 plus 15 equals 30, plus 8 equals 38, plus the other 8 equals 46 inches. So we know that we did this correctly. It matches up. The opposite sides match just as they should. So that's how you would find N, or the missing side. Something else they could ask you to do today is, instead of asking you to find N, they could ask you to find the area or find the perimeter. So this example is find the perimeter, which is the outside distance around the shape. But they're giving us a mixed number. So they're saying this side is 5.5 yards. Well, to my eyes, this looks like it's going to be a square, but let's just go with using the side of the shape across. So if this is 5.5 yards, this is also 5.5 yards. When we look at a square, every side is the same length. So on a square, all 4 sides are exactly the same. So if these are 5.5, these sides will also be 5.5 yards. And then to find the perimeter, we add all of the outside lengths. So I'm just going to add one of these at a time. So 5.5 plus 5.5, add the whole numbers is 10. Half plus half equals 2 halves, or a whole. We know that we can trade a fraction out for a whole if it's equal to that. So 2 over 2 equals 1 whole. So I'm going to add a whole onto the 10. So 5.5 plus 5.5 equals 11. I need to do the same for the other 2 side lengths. And then I can add them together. (11 plus 11 equals 22, and our label is going to be yards. There's also going to be a word problem today that asks you to look at a picture frame. So it's going to say something similar to this. Greg built this frame. It has a perimeter of 50 2/4 inches. How wide is the frame? And then it gives you an actual picture of the frame. and it tells us that one of the side lengths is 15 1/4 inches. I'm going to go ahead and label the opposite side the same because I know they have to be equal to each other. They're the same length. So far we have two side lengths that are 15 1/4 each, and we know from the word problem that the perimeter, the whole outside distance of the shape, equals 50 2/4. So I need to find what this side and this side are equal to. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the lengths I already have to see how much we're working with. 15 1/4 plus 15 1/4. We all should know how to do this. First, we add the whole numbers. 15 plus 15, I know is 30. 1/4 plus 1/4, I know is 2/4. So far we have 30 2/4 inches already here. The whole outside is 50 2/4. So I'm going to take that number and I'm going to subtract what we already have used on these two side lengths, and that will tell me how many inches are left. So 50 minus 30, we can do mental math, that would be 20. 2/4 minus 2/4 would give us 0/4. We would take them away, there would be no fourths left. So our answer here is just 20. We have 20 inches left, and we have two sides to split them with. So I need to split 20 evenly into two groups, which I know uses division. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. So each of these side lengths is 10 inches. Now I can answer the question that says, how wide is the frame? Well, the frame is 10 inches wide, and if it was asking me about the height, it's 15 1/4 inches tall. So the answer to this question would be, it is 10 inches wide. Using the same frame, the problem is also going to ask you, after you find the width, to find the area. So when we find area, we have to think back. To find area, we do length times width. In this case, here's the length, here's the width. So 5 1/4 times 10 inches. Oh, not 5 1/4, I'm sorry, 15 1/4. So 15 1/4 times 10. If we think back to when we learned how to multiply fractions, we're going to split this up so that we can look at it one piece at a time. So 15 times 10. Well, I know 15 times 1 is 15, and I'm going to bring back the 0 for 15 times 10, so 15 times 10 is 150. I also need to do 1/4 times 10. I can't just forget about the 1/4. So 1/4 times 10 would be 10/4, or what mixed number is equivalent to the improper fraction 10/4? 4 fits into 10 2 times, and that's at 8/4, and then we have 2/4 left over. So now we have 150 and we have 2 2/4. We're going to combine them to get our final answer. 150 plus 2 2/4 is 152 2/4. Because this is area, we need to use square before we put our unit. So 152 2/4 square inches. That is how you would find the area of the shape. Today on Pearson, there are mostly word problems that are asking you to find area and perimeter. Take your time. use your cube strategy. I'd like you to use your resources like the blue question help button or this video to help you. And then if you're still feeling stuck after you've persevered, after you've tried all of your resources, then you are absolutely more than welcome to message Miss Daisy or I on Google Hangouts. We're always here to help you. Good luck and try your best today.